Welcome to this in-depth tutorial on React.lazy loading and code splitting with React.lazy and Suspense. In today's digital age, where web applications are expected to be highly responsive and efficient, managing performance is crucial. As developers, we often face the challenge of optimizing large, complex applications without compromising user experience. This is where techniques like lazy loading and code splitting come into play. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a solid understanding of how these features work together to enhance performance in React applications, and you'll be equipped to implement them in your own projects. Let's dive into the theory behind lazy loading and code splitting in React. Imagine you're at a buffet, but instead of loading your plate with everything at once, you decide to take only what you need when you need it. This is akin to lazy loading in React. It's a strategy where non-essential resources are loaded only when required, reducing the initial load time and conserving bandwidth. This is particularly useful in single-page applications where loading all components at once can be inefficient. Similarly, code splitting allows you to break down your application into smaller chunks. These chunks are loaded as needed, ensuring that users only download what is necessary at any given moment. This is achieved in React through dynamic import statements. Now, React.lazy is a function that facilitates code splitting by allowing you to render a dynamic import as a standard component. It defers loading until the component is required, streamlining the process. However, while the component is loading, we need to handle the user experience. This is where Suspense comes in. Suspense is a React component that provides a fallback UI, such as a loading spinner, during the waiting period for lazy loaded components. These concepts are vital for optimizing large applications, improving load times, and enhancing user experiences, especially on mobile devices with limited bandwidth. Let's look at a practical example of how to implement lazy loading and code splitting in a React application. We'll use the React Lazy and Suspense components to load parts of our application only when necessary. Imagine we have a simple React project structured to demonstrate these concepts. Our app.js file is where the magic happens. We define our components, home, about, and contact, and lazy load them using React.lazy. We then wrap these components in a Suspense component with a fallback UI to indicate loading status. This approach allows us to efficiently manage component loading, reducing the initial load time for our users. In our demonstration, you'll see how these concepts come to life in a React application. We navigate to the application and observe the initial loading process. The main heading React Lazy Loading example verifies that the app has loaded correctly. As we interact with the application, the home, about, and contact components appear, each displaying its respective content. This indicates that lazy loading is working as expected, with components being fetched and rendered only when needed. The demo also shows that there are no console errors, confirming that our implementation is smooth and error-free. This approach not only optimizes load time, but also ensures an efficient and pleasant user experience. As we wrap up, let's reflect on what we've learned about React Lazy Loading and code splitting. These techniques provide a robust strategy for optimizing React applications, making them more efficient and user-friendly. By leveraging React Lazy and Suspense, we can defer the loading of non-essential components, reducing initial load times, and enhancing user experience, particularly on mobile devices. This tutorial has equipped you with the knowledge to implement these features in your projects, allowing you to build scalable and performant applications. As you continue to develop your skills, remember that optimizing performance is an ongoing process, and these techniques are powerful tools in your developer toolkit. Thank you for watching, and happy coding.